his little mental lapses throughout his career, and I think he may be having one right now.
You want to throw some weights around?
Let's throw some weights around.
I'm trying to focus on my training camp, and I got people going back telling his training camp everything I'm working on.
I actually feel sorry for the guy that he's not 100% committed to doing what he needs to do to be winning this fight.
Boom, boom. It's going to come out. People going to see through it. He's going to keep showing his true colors.
He's just like, this kid disrespected me, so thank you, and I'll see you on the night.
Hey! Who the You sure?
What are you doing over there? I'm trying to wake my ass.
At the end of the day, I'm pretty sure his spot been telling him how hard I've been training and how good I'm looking. My weight is down, baby. You know what I'm saying? I came to this camp ready, focused. Haven't been this focused in a long time.
Come on, there you go. There it is. For 9 weeks, Quinton Jackson's been living in the gym. He's stronger, he's faster, he's fitter, he's meaner. Jon Jones over, and he knows.
slammed people in fights before. I've taken people down and ground and pounded before in fights. I've done that.
Here comes the rampage.
I love knocking people out. It's like addictive. I like putting people to sleep.
Rampage Jackson knocks out Vanderlei Silva.
I'm sure Rampage wants me to brawl with him. I'm not going to brawl with him. I'm going to fight technically.
Quick, unorthodox, and truly wise beyond his years, Johnny Bones Jones.
You can go and try to be the smart fighter. Some people think they're very smart, and they actually too smart for their own britches.
I really don't know what's going on in Quentin's head. Whatever he's drinking over there at the Muscle Farm Fitness Center, he needs to slow down on it.
What's he doing?
Because obviously he's not thinking straight.
Come on. Get him moving. Dig. Come on. Quentin Jackson is going to shop him if he thinks he's got him worked out. He hasn't. We've got a motivated guy who wants his belt.
I just want Jon Jones to know one thing. I don't think I ever trained this hard before in my life. I'm going to have fun whooping his ass.
Two more. Come on, Quentin. Good work, fellas. That's what's up.
Rampage never trained this hard for a fight. Well, I train extremely hard every fight. I have trained this hard for a fight. Since Rampage has been in the UFC, he has been defeated, but he's never been finished. And one of my personal goals is not only to win in this fight, but to go out there and dominate this fight in a way that no one's ever seen before, and to actually finish Quentin Rampage Jackson.
We're the wolves there. We finish fights, and I think that's what Quentin's going to do in this fight.
I think Jon Jones is the future of MMA. I'm the present. I'm the right now.
Rampage Jackson!
It's just going to be a great day for me. I will win this fight.
Here we go!
When Diego Sanchez broke his hand just 19 days before his scheduled fight with UFC Hall of Famer Matt Hughes, Josh Koscheck was out for a drive.
My grandfather just turned 83. He's never been in a Ferrari, so I was taking him for a ride in my car. The phone rings, pick up the phone. Crazy Bob, what's happening? He goes, you want to fight in 19 days? And I'm like, who am I fighting? He goes, Matt Hughes. I said, no way. So I said, Grandpa, hold on. I got real excited. I cranked the throttle down on the Ferrari, hit about 110. I was like, yep, we'll take the fight, gotta go.
We've been training for Matt Hughes for 10 years, so this 3-week thing is not too early. Koss got the call, and we're going to answer.
I'm excited about this opportunity to fight Matt Hughes. He's been dodging me, and he's been dodging AKA for a long time.
Well, you know, I know there's a guy that just signed a new contract. His name's Matt Hughes. You know, I've been asking for that for a long time.
That does ring a bell. I just don't know why people want to call me out when I'm not holding the belt.
Matt Hughes!
When I was the champion, I didn't have anybody calling me out. I think he's just a self-promoter more than anything.
He was the champion for a while when we were begging to fight him, and he never wanted to fight us.
AKA fighters have wanted to fight Hughes for a very long time.
Back when I was champion, I didn't know anything about the AKA gym. But I'm presented my fights through Dana White or Joe Silva. I don't get to make my matches.
2 years ago, when Koscheck called him out publicly, Hughes wrote on his website, "I have no interest in fighting Koscheck." And as he was showing everybody, he's just a kid.
You know, Matt Hughes called me a kid. I am a kid. I'm a lot younger than him. I'm a lot faster. I'm a lot stronger. And I'm a lot better of a fighter than him. So, you know, the new kid on the block is going to come up and take out the old man.
Now 37, with a farm and a family, time is of the essence for Matt Hughes. So much so that he recently sold his gym in Southern Illinois.
The reality of it was an hour away. Drive an hour, train for 2 hours, drive home an hour. My wife wasn't very happy with it, so when you're married, you pick your battles.
Matt now trains closer to home and hits the road for short spurts of variety.
I can pick something up in every gym.
Good, a little more turn. There we go. The turn comes from when you're throwing the hook. Not really on the 45 here. Boom. Yes.
I love to travel. There's so much to be taught out there and learned in this sport. About a month ago, I went to Fort Bragg and trained with several different groups of people there. One thing about them is they've always got more bodies to throw at you. Probably go out to Bader's gym out in Arizona. I love it out here in Salt Lake City. It's elevated. Denver's going to be obviously an elevated venue. So this place is really going to be a home for me to getting ready for the fights.
In Utah, Matt works with longtime friend and grappling expert, Jeremy Horn.
You're younger. I'm not looking for some place where I can roll through everybody. I come here because I want to be threatened.
I may tell you everything you know, but I didn't teach you everything I know.
We work real well together, and I can always pick up on things that he's doing on the ground to kind of help him straighten things out and improve a bit.
This is one that he showed me. Put some pressure on his head. He may pop his head up.
Every move there's a counter, and every counter there's a counter. And Jeremy knows that, and he'll teach him something every day.
After 11 years and 53 fights, Matt continues to study and to rely on his teammates.
People think it's an individual sport, and it's not. I've got 3 to 4 cornermen right outside the cage talking to me.
Keep your hands on. Good work! Good work, man!
Against Henzo, I probably threw 20 kicks training for that fight. But I kicked him once in the first round. My corner said he didn't like it, so I kept doing it.
Those are good kicks.
Look, if you're going to bring that low kick, I want you to double step that jab in there first. You got to get him backing up. Don't give him a chance to counter that low kick. You know what I mean?
Stop the leg, Mark. 1, 3, 2. There you go.
Down goes Tracy. Just a clinic.
Against Ricardo Almeida, Robbie Lawler said, the hook's there. I threw the hook, caught him, he went down, and I choked him because of that hook.
Easy, man. He's good. He's good.
Drag that elbow out. Look for that choke. That's it.
You want to talk about some power. You know how hard it is to choke a guy to sleep like that. I don't think we've ever even seen that before. Big left hook started it all.
Matt Hughes has more wins than anyone else in UFC history. He's already in the organization's Hall of Fame. But he continues to make the sacrifices necessary to challenge the sport's elite.
My motivation was just the love to compete. Going in there against one other person.
Matt Hughes trying to finish by submission.
I love it.
Are you kidding me?
The bottom line is getting your hand raised at the end.
Will Matt Hughes make history? Incredible.
It's been 9 months since Josh Koscheck entered the octagon, and he'll return to fight one of the top welterweights in MMA history.
I want fights that get me pumped. I want fights that people are going to tune in and want to watch. And this is a fight that everybody's going to want to see.
I think he's going to throw some bombs. I think he's going to try and take me down.
Right there, Sean. Good.
I think it'll be several different things he's going to try and do out there.
Koscheck can win this fight anywhere.
This, to me, is a finishing fight round and time. This is almost game over. So be strategic and really set up a finish, not just a grind.
I think he can be a more dominant wrestler, more dominant jiu-jitsu guy, and a more dominant kickboxer and striker.
he's smart, he's going to be trying to close the distance, try to smother me and get on top of me.
There it is.
Old school ground and pound by Matt Hughes.
This is where he's the best.
That's what he does.
I think that I can win in several different places. I think striking-wise, it'll be very even.
Jab, jab. And again, 1-2. Here comes Hughes. Oh, big left hook.
I definitely think I have an advantage on the feet. He's really never knocked anybody out on his feet. His punches are slow, methodical. I definitely have more power than Matt Hughes.
I would not say Josh has more power than me, but he is pretty reckless with his hands.
There's that big overhand right. Koscheck with the double jab, that big overhand right again.
I'm focused on being first and being fast.
He's back. He's out. Again. Koscheck by knockout. Man.
He's over the hill. He's old. He's slow. You're going to see Matt Hughes sleeping.
The fact is, I'm probably the oldest guy in the weight division. I hope he's banking on me being the old man that is slower and weaker than he is.
His days are over. So, this is just another win for me.
I definitely think I'll defeat him. If I didn't think I'd beat him, I wouldn't have taken the fight.
I will beat Matt Hughes live on pay-per-view. Guaranteed.
Matt Hughes! This is what the UFC is all about.
I just want Jon Jones to know one thing.
Tight. Nice drop. Good.
I don't think I ever trained this hard before in my life.
Come on, there you go. Come on, drive. Dig. Come on.
I'm going to have fun whooping his ass.
Good.
Well, let him say whatever he needs to say to make himself sleep at night. We all know that I'm fighting a movie star, and I'm not losing to a movie star.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is the future. Unlimited potential.
I think Jon Jones is the future of MMA.
Do that dance.
I'm the present. I'm the right now.
Get up.
I hope he had fun with the belt while it lasted.
All right, then.
He's not going to have it long.
Oh, my goodness. How good was that?
I'm gonna make him bite his words. That's a promise. As long as I'm around, Quentin Rampage Jackson will never be a UFC champion again.
Yeah, baby!
UFC light heavyweight champion Jon Jones puts his belt on the line against determined former champ Rampage Jackson. Former longtime welterweight champion Matt Hughes challenges power-hitting top contender Josh Koscheck. The countdown to UFC 135 starts now. Rampage Jackson doesn't hide his feelings about Jon Jones.
The kid has got his head stuck up his own ass, and, you know, who likes being around people like that? You fought Shogun when he was rusty as hell, dog. He was off an injury, you know what I'm saying, having fought for a year, like 2 knee surgery.
There will always be excuses.
Huh?
There will always be excuses. I'm sure that
yeah.
You didn't fight the Pride Rampage. You fought the,
No.
the movie star Rampage. So.
Okay. You know, whatever.
He's a funny dude. He tried to play me on the stare down, and I have my thing where I tend not to look opponents in the eyes, and he turned his back to me. I actually thought it was funny.
I don't play like little boy games, you know what I'm saying? He's like beneath me, you know what I'm saying? He's like a little boy. I got like 3 excuses for every time I lost, I ain't gonna lie. I got a bunch of them.
Thinking of anything good now?
Huh?
Are you thinking of anything good?
I ain't gonna need no excuse after this fight. I ain't gonna need not one. You're going to need a bunch of them.
The first experience I ever had of Rampage was in Boston. We both went to an after party, and we had this VIP area. And I walked up to him and said, "Hey, Rampage, you know, I'm a big fan, and I'm also a fighter, a fellow fighter, and, you know, I guess we're going to be hanging out at the same table tonight." And he looked at me and gave me a really dirty look, and he turned around and started making out with this woman.
That's a lie, because I don't make out in public. I don't do that, so that tells me right there that Jon Jones is a liar.
I have no reason to lie. You know, obviously he doesn't remember because he probably treats people like that all the time. But, yeah, it happened, and just did it to the wrong kid.
In February, Jon Jones handed Ryan Bader his first career defeat.
Oh, he got hands all over! Jon Jones chokes out Ryan Bader!
Then, his life changed.
The UFC wants to give you the opportunity to face Shogun Rua for the light heavyweight championship of the world.
That was an interesting time for me. You know, I was put under a lot of pressure as far as, you know, expectations, a title fight, huge jump up in competition, lots of media. I would wake up, open the doors for a full camera crew. They would watch me eat breakfast, they would watch me say goodbye to my family.
Another day in the office.
I just had to not let the cameras and all the Hollywood get in the way of my real goal.
I'm going for the world title, baby! Let's go!
But just hours before that goal could be reached, Jones had one more unexpected adventure.
Every fight I like to go and meditate and just clear my mind. Me, Greg Jackson, and Mike Winkeljohn, we were in Paterson, New Jersey. And just as we pulled up to a park to get ready to meditate, we hear screaming. And we see this old couple saying that they had just been robbed.
Some guy's yelling and running. I'm like, oh, what's going on? And Mike Winkeljohn turns to me and he goes, well, I guess I'm going to have to chase this guy down. And I didn't really know what he meant, but I saw a guy running. When I look over on my right side, and Jon Jones starts running after him.
I just catch up to the guy, and I kick the guy's legs out from behind him. So Greg had his hands, and I grabbed his feet. And I put his feet in a figure-4 type of technique, where you cross one leg over, and then you sit on the other leg, which is creating a lot of pressure. And I remember the guy begging us. He's just like, please, loosen up, you know, this hurts. And we're like, hey, you should have thought about that before you decided to rob someone's grandma.
Everybody in the neighborhood came out and was yelling at the guy, that's what you get for stealing in our neighborhood. And
the guy ended up having this woman's GPS system. We walked back to the lady's car, and she's just like, you know, God bless you, man, and thank you so much for what you've done. And she's like, you're going to do just fine tonight. I just had this feeling in my soul. I just knew I was going to win. Backstage, before I went out there to fight Shogun, I was pretty much at peace. I felt like I was totally alive and that I was exactly where I was meant to be at that moment.
Shogun and Jones, our main event of the evening for the light heavyweight title. Here we go! Big takedown.
I wasn't very surprised that I was able to take Shogun down. I had studied him a lot, and I had realized that out of the last 18 takedown attempts, he had went down 16 out of the 18.
Jones can get in position. His elbows are lethal.
On top of Shogun, I feel as if that's where I took most of his will.
Such force with those elbows. He's got so much leverage because of his length.
I hit him with a lot of shots to the ribs, a lot of shots to the chin.
Jones looking to tee off. Show the turn, Mike. He's wobbled. Vicious. He's just having his way with Shogun.
We're headed back to the corner. I thought to myself, holy crap, I'm beating Mauricio Shogun Rua.
Have some water, my friend. That was a brilliant round.
I kind of prayed going into round 2. Say, you know, God, I'm doing it. Please don't let me get caught. Going into round 2, I just totally felt like I was in the zone. He threw a leg kick, and I practiced 1,000 times to catch that leg kick and react. Just so engaged in the moment.
There's one leg kick, takes it. Big shot by Jones.
He did a lot of body attacks in that fight, and it really made a huge difference.
The knee, nice knee, another one.
I definitely saw him weakening. He was winding up his punches a little more.
Shogun's lunging in with these punches. He looks already exhausted.
He was slowing down a lot.
Nice elbow. 2 rounds in the books for Jon Jones. And that drop down for a leg lock. Coming in, man. They left his mind with the way he started this fight, Jon Jones.
And who expected him to just do that, try to go for a leg lock? I mean, that's how unpredictable this kid is.
Listen to me, Jon. You're feeling a little tired? He's feeling a...
Shogun turn, Mike. He's wobbled. Get the finish, Shogun! And it is all over! Jon Jones is the youngest champion in UFC history! UFC light heavyweight champion of the world, Jon Jones! I want my belt back! Big shot going down! Oh, he's down! Oh! That's what I'm talking about. Team swings to kill you. Every punch he throws is to knock you senseless. He's the leader of the next generation. And he might be the greatest talent that we've ever seen in the UFC. Jon Jones! Rampage Jackson!
The legend, the champion, who will dictate the future?
On behalf of Kroenke Sports and Entertainment, I'd like to welcome everybody here to the UFC 135 pre-fight press conference. You know, everybody remembers their first kiss, their first car, the first time they met somebody. The UFC remembers where this started. It was here in Denver, way back in 1993. And I know here at Kroenke Sports, we're excited to have the UFC back at the Pepsi Center, back here in Denver, Colorado. You're looking at 4 of the toughest men on the face of the planet. 4 extreme athletes that Saturday night will make this place light up. And I'm telling you what, for the people that are going to be here, the people that are going to watch around the world, get ready for something special Saturday night here at the Pepsi Center. Without further ado, let me introduce the president, the guy that is responsible for this, Mr. Dana White.
All right. Good afternoon. Thank you all for coming. We appreciate it. I just want to hit a couple of things. Tonight, the Ultimate Fighter Season 14 screening for the media is tonight. Any of you that want to go, it's from 6 to 8. Bisbing and Miller will both be there. And it's exclusive to the media and other special guests at the Paramount Theater tonight. So you guys want to go check that out, you're more than welcome to. I'm going to get right into this thing. We don't need to talk about this. You know what's going on Saturday night. I'm pumped for this fight. Who's got the first question?
Gentlemen, from England. Nice to be here in the spiritual birthplace of the UFC again. Can I ask Quinton Rampage Jackson, please? Quinton, the talk around the terraces is that people are saying that Jon Jones is saying that you don't have any tools to be able to take him on. What's your answer to that?
Well, I'm glad Jon Jones underestimated me. Yeah, he'll be very surprised come Saturday.
Can you talk us a little bit through your camp and why this has been the best camp of your career, please?
I think this has been the best camp of my career because I was very motivated. You know, Muscle Farm have a great facility, and once I saw the gym, you know, I was already motivated, but once I saw the gym, you know what I'm saying, I was very excited to train there. It's like state of the art, and it was really cool. You know, I like technology and stuff like that. It was a really cool gym, and I haven't been this motivated in a long time.
Can I ask Jon Jones if you are underestimating Rampage, and if so, why?
Absolutely. And Garth, I thought it was funny you asked that question because I'm positive that I've never stated that Rampage doesn't have the tools to beat me. I've never stated that in any of my interviews leading up to this fight. And I'm not underestimating Rampage at all. I mean, he's a unified champion who's knocked out some of the best fighters in the sport. That would be a very, very ignorant thing for me to do, to underestimate somebody with such a great record and such a great status.
Hey guys, welcome to Denver. Ron Kruk with Inside MMA. I spoke with all you about coming back here and fighting in Denver where the UFC was born, everyone except Josh. So Josh, I'd like to ask you your thoughts. I don't know if you're a big history guy, but what does it mean to you to come to the Pepsi Center in Denver where the UFC was born and fight here?
You know, when the UFC first came out, in the '93, I didn't even know what it was. So to be honest with you, I didn't know really what UFC was until maybe 2003, 2004. So for me, you know, it's cool to be a part of the history of coming back here. Definitely, you know, I took this fight on short notice, and you know, I've been training, so I'm well prepared. And I just want to say that you know, I'd like to thank Matt Hughes and the UFC for putting this fight together and stepping up and you know, bringing me here and letting me be a part of this history. So thanks.
One quick question for Matt Hughes. Matt, you brought in some big-name fighters for this training camp. Would you name them and why you decided to bring in some of those guys as you prepared?
As always, I brought Jeremy Horn in, ground technician Robbie Lawler. He's the wrestler of the bunch. Pat Miletich, all-around guy. BJ Penn, DeMarcus Johnson. Just a bunch of guys. I always like to, I'm sure I'm not the only fighter, I like to travel with like a family. And the more guys I got around me, the better off I am, and the more I'm concentrated on what's going on. I hate not having somebody around, to be honest. So the more guys I got with me, the happier I am.
Who will be in your corner?
3 cornermen will be, 4 cornermen, Robbie Lawler, Matt Pena, Jeremy Horn, and Pat Miletich.
Joe Farrar from Rogers Sports. A question for John, Dana, and Rampage. Rampage, I'll start with you. You've been around the sport for a very long time. Are you surprised that there's so many people that are not giving you enough credit heading into this title fight?
No, I'm not surprised at all. You know, one thing about me is that, you know, I can care less about stuff like that, but that's one thing that motivates me. I was counted out when I was facing Chuck Liddell in the UFC and Vanderlei Silva, and those are the type of things that makes me train harder and rise to the occasion. I'm not surprised at all. A lot of people want me to lose this fight, but you know what I'm saying, that gives me more power.
And in fighting a guy like Johnny Bones Jones, is there anyone of the long list of opponents that you faced in the past that you can draw some sort of similarity, saying, yeah, you know what, I fought a guy like this before?
Well, you know, John is he's very unique with a lot of stuff he does, but you know, and he's a great wrestler, but I fought great wrestlers, and his stand-up is okay, and I fought great stand-up guys. I fought a tall guy in K1 with longer reach than me, and Chuck Liddell had longer reach. And I don't really think his jiu-jitsu skills is extraordinary. So I'm ready for everything. You know, he's a creative kid, but I prepare for everything. So I just be happy to get in there Saturday and get ready for the fight.
For yourself, I'm just wondering, one of the things coming into this fight, a lot of the media and the fans and the pundits are saying Johnny's never been rocked before, and it's something that's very sort of difficult to do sometimes in sparring. What do you say to those critics that say, you know what, if you get rocked by Rampage, beat a left hook or a right hook, you may lose that title?
Right. Well, I think a big part of getting knocked out, it comes more and more with the older guys in the sport. No offense to any of them, but you know, it's just the way the human brain works and the body works. After accumulation of hits throughout your career, your ability to take punches start to go away slowly but surely. And I'm in the beginning of my career. You know, I'm a 24-year-old guy, still growing pubic hair, and and I think I have a very fresh armpit hair, guys. Stop. I think I have a very fresh chin. I really do. I have a fresh chin, and I have a fresh passion and a fresh heart, and I think that's gonna, you know, get me out of a lot of things. I have the passion to not want to get hit, let alone think about losing a fight. You know, I don't even like to get hit. So I train my butt off, and that's why my chin is rarely tested in the octagon, because of how serious I take this sport. You know, I focus on things like evading and slipping and countering and
running
and distance. And I haven't disrespected you, have I? So
not today. Not today.
So that's the reason why.
And Dana, a question for you. It's almost like there's people out there that are saying that this is UFC 69, that if Quentin pulls this off, it'll be one of the greatest upsets of all time. And we're also on the beginning of the Jon Jones era. Can you talk about the fight in that manner?
I don't think that. I don't think that if Quentin wins, it's the biggest upset in UFC history. That's insane. I mean, anybody who would say something like that is out of their mind. Rampage, he said it earlier, he's been here for a long time. He's fought all the best in the world, you know, overseas, here, everywhere else. You know, I think one of the things that people always had talked about Quentin in the past was his lack of motivation. How hard did he train for a fight? How serious did he take a fight? But to say that he's, you know, that this would be the biggest upset in UFC history is insane.
I agree.
Matt Sierra with MMA. And it's really a question for the entire panel. Triple H, actor slash pretender slash professional fighter or wrestler, has said that MMA as a sport needs to evolve like WWE did, and often the fights are long, boring, and it's just a bunch of guys lying down, or they end too fast. How do you guys respond to something like that coming from another athlete like that?
I think that's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, think about how many jiu-jitsu dojos there is who absolutely love to see a greatly executed guard pass. Or think about the whole culture of wrestling, the #1 sport, I mean the first sport that was ever invented, wrestling. There's a whole nation, there's a whole society that loves to see beautiful takedowns executed. So for people to say jiu-jitsu and wrestling and fighting a ground match is horrible, I tell them to go watch K1.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. That's his father-in-law is starting to let him talk in public now. He'll get better at it. Don't worry.
Oh, don't go watch K1. Sorry.
He'll stop saying stupid shit soon.
Now, Jon Jones, when you fought Rua, you had an opportunity to play the hero role when you stopped a mugging from happening. Do you feel that this Denver atmosphere is going to allow you a chance to focus more on your fight and not so much on saving people's lives?
One more time?
Last time you fought Rua, you saved a woman from a mugging. Do you feel that being in Denver and being around this type of atmosphere that you're going to be able to focus more on fighting and a little bit less on being the hero?
Yeah, well, I definitely wasn't trying to focus on doing that. It's just something that happened. I was in the right place at the right time. And, yeah, I'm definitely focused on this fight as much as I know how to.
Hey, Rampage, it's D-Mac from 104.3 The Fan here in Denver. Jon was making it sound like you're old, your brain's not working right, you're slow, he's young, that sort of thing. How would you respond to that?
Why are you trying to misconstrue my words?
You sir are an instigator.
Yes, you are.
I got to make a living.
I was getting the same feeling that he was getting. He was hitting the nail on the head. You know what I'm saying? He can think whatever he wants to think. You know, Jon Jones can talk all he wants. Like the kid has really. I looked at him. He hadn't really fought anybody. For him to be talking like that, the kid don't got the type of experience.
Don't you think that's disrespectful to Shogun?
You know, Shogun is the toughest guy he fought, and he was rusty and coming off an injury. Come on, we all saw Shogun when he first came to
I
the
just
UFC.
saw Shogun beat
Forrest
Griffin.
I saw Shogun lose to Forrest Griffin the same way he lost
I saw
to
you lose to Forrest Griffin as well.
Yeah, I saw me lose to Forrest Griffin as well, too. But I'm going to see me winning on Saturday. That's all that counts. That's all that counts.
That's a good winning mindset.
Hey, I'm talking right now. Shut your young ass up.
Sorry, sir.
So let Jon do all this talking. I do most of my talking in the octagon. We'll see, you know what I'm saying, how the old man get down. This guy's never went past the championship rounds. I've been there before. You know what I'm saying? It take a champion to come in the 4th round, 5th round fresh and still destroy your opponent. I don't think he got the ass to do it.
You got Brandon Cristal, 104.3 The Fan here. Rampage, you talked about what's your opinion of Denver? You're getting ready for the fight. What's your take on the city?
I like Denver. I was very surprised of all the MMA fans here. I wish I wasn't so much in fight mode when I was meeting them, because a lot of times, you know, I go out to eat or go to the mall or something like that, and I meet a lot of fans, kind of caught me off guard and stuff like that. But Denver is a cool place, man. I went to the zoo and hung out in the zoo. I made a friend at the zoo. Little monkey looked like little Jon Jones. He was pop locking and everything. You know what I'm saying? He even had the pubic hair on his face just like Jon. I was like, man, you know. He's a cool little monkey. I like Denver. I'll be back.
I got a question. Question for Josh. Everyone thought that you were going to be a middleweight for your next fight, and this Matt Hughes. What is your feeling moving forward? I mean, we've seen guys in a title fight come up short, move a division. That kind of was where you were headed. Are you going to look at a win over Matt Hughes as possible?
Well, one of the reasons why I wanted to go up and just have a couple of fights is because of the fact that everybody at welterweight was just tied up. St. Pierre, I'm not going to be fighting him anytime soon. All the top guys were tied up, so I thought that, I was like, what's going to give me some motivation to train hard and get in the gym? And I was like, man, I need to find a big fight. So we were asking for a number of fighters in the 185-pound division, just because I wanted to, have motivation to get in there and train and, come back and have a good, exciting fight. So, I think Chris Liebman was one of the guys that we asked for, and Vanderlei Silva was the second guy. So, I mean, nothing against those guys. They're good fighters, and I just thought it would be fun for the fans and give me some motivation to train. As for taking this fight with Matt Hughes, this is a fight that should have happened a long time ago, I felt. So I'm not sure why. I've asked for it a number of times, and I'm not sure why he never accepted it. So or it's never been offered to him. So here it is now. Saturday night we get to settle the score and figure out where my place is going to be and where his place is going to be in the history of the UFC. So.
Were you finding it difficult at all to find motivation after losing the title? Is it tough to get back in? And because I mean that's such a clear goal, and when that's over, were you finding it tough to be motivated?
No, I'm always motivated to test myself as a fighter, as a person, and what a great test I have Saturday. Taking this fight on 19 days notice, and I like to test myself, and I'm one of those guys that will step up, and I've said it a million times that I'll fight anybody, anytime, any place. So. And I think that I've proven that, and I've proven it again by coming in here Saturday night and taking this fight on short notice. So regardless of the training, I've been training, for 4 or 5 months leading up to this fight, and I've helped all the Strikeforce guys, Cormier and King Mo and Luke Rockholt get ready for their fights. So I've been training. So I don't feel that I'm taking the fight on 19 days notice. So because I've been in camp. So I'm ready to go. I'm in shape, and I'm looking forward to getting a big win. So.
My last question in regards to the weight class you'll be fighting in. I mean, we hear from like a guy like George who says he would want 4 to 6 months to put on the weight. Is your body more flexible? I mean, can you kind of go where the big fights are, depending on which?
Yeah, I walk around usually around like 193 to 197. So I'm pretty big. I'm a little shorter for 185, but I think with the wrestling skills I have, I think it could be some good fun matchups for me there. So
And Dana, just real quickly, do you have an opinion on that? I mean, you let fighters choose which weight division they want to be in. I mean, for Josh specifically, what do you think?
Yeah, I think as long as they belong in that weight division, I think he could go to 85. I don't disagree with him. I think he's a little short for that weight class. I mean, some of these guys are cutting down from 210 to 215. So, but yeah, I'm comfortable with him at 85.
But right now I'm focused on, Saturday night. I'm not worried about 185 or, fighting, whoever. It's Matt Hughes on Saturday night. That's who I have, and that's where my focus has been for the last 19 days. And, it's a big opportunity, So I know this is Matt's last fight on his contract, and, I'm sure he wants to go out. If he chooses to retire after this, he wants to go out with a win. So I'm sure he's trained hard, facing Diego, and now it's me. So I'm a little bit different fighter than Diego. So I think that the 19 days notice that I had is as well as him. So I think that he has a lot of things to prep for me, just as well as he was prepping for Diego. So yeah, this is going to be a good fun fight. I'm a little antsy up here because usually my fights have all the drama. This one here doesn't have, this fight isn't having as much drama as these two guys over here. So this is a little different scene for me.
Right here, Karen Bryan from MMA Heat. This is for you, Dana. You spoke at the Fox presser about how there's still a lot of education that needs to be done for the fans. Obviously, this fight is not on Fox yet, but every fight leading up to the Fox show, I feel like is more important now in terms of putting forth a good image for the sport and getting butts in the seats, you know, watching more and stuff. So how do you feel that Jon and Rampage, maybe with their Hollywood background, Jon's got the Bud Light commercials, Rampage has had movies, how do you think this is helping to advance the sport and position you better for when you do get to Fox?
Well, I think, you know, every day as we get close, you know, we work hard and work hard and work hard and get closer and closer and closer to building this thing up to what we think it can be. This Jon Jones Rampage fight is a breakthrough fight. It's a big fight. It's one that, you know, you have the fights that we'll do that casual fans and maybe some other people get into, and then you have the fights that everybody is interested in. I mean, I've had everybody from, you name it, you know, blowing me up and want to fly into plus the fact that celebrities are coming to Denver. You know, it's easy to go to Vegas or Southern Cal and things like that, but this is a big fight. This is a breakthrough fight.
And
this is one that people care about.
Well, yeah, that the winner of this one, that their next fight could be one that would be on Fox?
I have no idea. Yeah, I don't know. I want to get through the first one first.
Luke Thomas here with SB Nation. A couple questions for Josh. Josh, given the extent of the eye injury that you suffered against George St. Pierre, were there any unique difficulties sort of getting back on the horse in terms of striking when you resumed training?
No, not really. I, went right back into training. I saw a couple of eye doctors, and they said everything's good, and yeah, just went right back in there and started grinding. So, I've been injured before. I had a fusion in my neck, in wrestling, and I'd never had any difficulties coming back from an injury.
There are promotional opportunities for you at 170 or 185, but if you had to evaluate talent, in your judgment, which division is more stacked?
It's hard to assume. There's a lot of good guys at 185, and as well as 170. The reason why I wanted to go to 180 caught my eye. It motivated me to fight. So everybody was tied up. So that's the only reason I was like, shoot, what am I going to do in November? Am I going to fight somebody who's not well known? That just doesn't give me the motivation to go out there and train. I've been fighting for the UFC since the Ultimate Fighter 1, so it's been quite a while, and I want big fights, and when I got the call for Matt Hughes, I want big names, big fights. So I was like, shoot, Matt Hughes, yeah, I've been asking that fight for a long time. Let's do it.
And that's the origin of why you want the Hughes fight, is because of his name and his stature in the sport.
Yeah, well, he's a tough opponent as well. It just isn't because he has a big name. He's been around. He's former UFC champion at 170. So why not? Why not test myself with a guy that's been there and done that?
For Matt over here, how's it going? Is it accurate that this was a fight that didn't interest you? Obviously, Josh was campaigning for it for a while, but is it true that you just weren't all that interested in fighting him for all those years?
Probably a question for Dana.
Matt Hughes has never not been interested in anything. I mean, even fights that I've called him in the past, and I've talked about this before, there was nothing he was more or less interested in than the second fight with Frank Trigg. Those two hated each other. He'd already destroyed him in the first fight by standing rear naked choke, and his thing was, I'm never going to beat him more impressively than I did the first time. But he took the fight. Never called Matt Hughes and had Matt Hughes go, I don't want to do this fight, or I'm not interested. Never. In almost, in over 10 years of being in business together, never called Matt Hughes.
I just never got called to the fight. So, I mean, Josh isn't the first one that called me out, wanting to fight me. So, I mean, just one of the guys wanting to fight me, and whatever the UFC wants to put together for the fans is what's going to happen.
And have you made a decision whether or not this will be your last fight?
No.
It will depend on what happens on Saturday night?
I don't know if I would say that. I'm just going to talk with the UFC after this, and we'll see. I mean, I'm 37. I was the guy this guy was talking about 5 minutes ago about being older, and
sorry, babe.
and this and that. So I just want to see what's going on. I don't want to be in my 40s and fighting. I just don't. About to be 38, so we'll just see what's going to go on. I'm not going to sign another 4-fight deal for sure.
Thank you.
Doesn't Matt still look good for fighting for so many years, guys? Give it up for Matt. Oh, you did it. Sweet.
Thank you.
For Jon, how much has your life changed, if at all, since winning the belt?
It hasn't changed at all. It hasn't changed at all. I just expect more for myself now. in training. You know, I try to do extra. I try to, you know, I train with Greg Jackson's martial arts, and there's a lot of elite athletes involved with that program. And I try to make it a point to believe that I'm eating the healthiest, I'm training the hardest, you know, I'm running up the sprints the fastest. I'm really trying to make sure I'm the best of the best. So I just expect more for myself now. But everything else is the same. Same people, same coaches, same family, same everybody.
And I mean, this may have started with Rampage and Rashad, but it seems like those guys have said some things about you that you're cocky or fake, and it seems like some fans have maybe even latched onto that.
Yeah.
Has that bothered you at all?
No. You know, as far as the fans latching onto that, you know, it's when you got a guy with a huge following. Rashad and Rampage have huge followings, so they could say that I'm a vegan, and now I'm a vegan. You know, it's just how it works. The fans latch onto what people say. It could have been any other words. For example, the fake comment is one that really I find funny because a lot of people don't even know me. So how do you call me fake, really? You know. So I just go with it. I guess it's a part of my image now, and I think you know, people will take it for what they believe. You know, my intentions are well, and I know that I'm a good person. I know that I do the right things, and I work hard, and I believe in being very confident because that's the name of the sport. That's the name of the game. And, you know, people can take it or leave it. So I still have a very strong support base, and a few people call me cocky, but strictly it's because what Rashad titled me as being that. It could have been any other word, like I said. So it's whatever.
We'll take one more question. Is there one more question? Right over here.
Hi, Fred the Chef from MMANorway.com. I wonder if you can confirm if Juno Einemo is back in the UFC?
Is he?
Is he?
When's he coming back?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, he is, but I don't know when he'll fight.
Oh, okay. And if UFC is coming to Sweden next year?
We've been talking about it.
Okay.
Hopefully, yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
All right. Who's got questions? Fans, and we'll get a couple fan questions in here too.
DW, always good to the fans.
This Denver crowd is so reserved, so polite, man. I was in LA yesterday. It was nuts.
Josh, how many days did you say that you had to prepare for this fight?
Well, I got notice of the fight 19 days ago, so, well, from Saturday it'll be 19 days. But I've been training, you know, I train with a lot of good guys at AK, and, you know, there's a lot of good talent there, and it's a fight 3 days a week when you're in that gym. So, you know, when we spar Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm fighting 3 times a week. So I'm well prepared for this fight, and, you know, I will never have any excuses after a fight. So I'm going into this fight, you know, winning this fight, you know, in my mind. So I prepared really well, and you know, I think that you know, Saturday night we're going to get to see a lot of good fights.
Well, like you said, you're much more tame this time around. So I didn't know if 19 days wasn't enough for you to lob some bombs or run your mouth a little more.
Yeah, well,
thanks for the opportunity.
You know, I'm not trying to disrespect Matt Hughes. You know, he's been a good representative of the UFC and of this sport. So you know, you know, and plus 19 days, you really can't stir up too much in 19 days. So as much as I'd like to, just for the fun of it, but you know, Matt's a good guy, and we have a lot in common. So I think that you know, he's a well-respected fighter around the sport, and it's going to be a fun fight.
Dana, I'm Jaden. I want to introduce myself.
Hi.
I'm going to be the first UFC fighter.
Awesome. Can't wait.
First woman UFC fighter, at least.
I knew what you meant.
Rampage, is there going to be an A team too?
I'm not sure. I hope so. I like playing BA. He's a fun character to play.
Okay. Thank you.
Let's get some impression.
You're doing a good job, Mama Dad. She's so polite.
What's up, buddy? How are you?
Hi, I'm Dylan. I'm a Cecil's People black belt.
Cool.
And I was wondering, what can I do to someday be a UFC fighter?
Just keep training, buddy. Keep training in all the mixed martial arts, and start fighting in the smaller shows here in Denver, and work your way up maybe to the Ultimate Fighter or get onto one of the cards in the UFC?
And keep your good grades. Have good grades in school, too. That'll help you.
Yeah, how you doing? My name is Dalen Ware. My question is for Dana White. Do you know the weight classes or maybe when the tryouts are going to be for the next Ultimate Fighter?
It's a good question. I do not. We haven't, what? We haven't made that decision yet. We're still doing a lot of work putting this next season premiere tonight of the Ultimate Fighter on Spike TV will be the last one on Spike. Then we're moving to FX, and that format's going to be live. The show will actually be filmed live, so everything's going to completely change. We've been working on that, and then we'll figure out what weight class we'll do.
Okay. And my other question would be, I've shot up with the show twice. I think I did a really good job. When is there anything I can do to ensure a higher probability of me getting on the show?
Just keep trying out. There's guys who tried out 4 times and then finally made it onto the show. The more you show up, I think the more you learn. You're nervous the first time when you go up to tryouts, and especially the interview. Did you make it to the interview process?
No, I didn't.
Well, you want to get there first. You want to make it to
well, yeah, I'm wondering why I didn't. I still don't know.
Just keep training, man. Get that. What's real important, too, is your record. How many fights you have and what your record is. We like guys that have a lot of fights. You don't want to come into the UFC with just 3 fights, 4 fights.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Cool. Thank you.
Girl afro and diet green.
We'll take one more question from the fans. The mic's over here. I'll answer that question. After Strikeforce, what? They're going to keep fighting on Strikeforce. Are you assuming that we're going to shut Strikeforce down? Is that what you're saying? Don't listen to the buzz. Who knows what's going to happen? The way that this thing works is it depends on Showtime. Ball's in their court. They're going to decide whether they want to keep Strikeforce around or not. We're not. They will. Well, the reason I said it, that is because there aren't enough good women in each division to create an entire division. You can do one-off fights here and there, but to create an entire division, especially as much as we put on fights, I mean, we're going to do 34 fights next year. Wow. There aren't enough good women to create an entire division, which is the problem. But, again, as the sport continues to grow and more people train in it, you're going to see a lot more women getting involved, too. So who knows? We'll see what happens.
I got a question for Jon Jones. My name's Terrell. How do you see yourself finishing the fight?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh,
without giving out too much information or game plan. But.
Well, I definitely don't want to sit here and disrespect Rampage.
Go ahead, Jones. You've been doing it before.
You've been doing it too.
When you sit at night and imagine, how do you force
You've been doing it too.
Don't hurt my feelings.
Like I said, I'm not trying to sit here and disrespect Rampage, but my personal goal is to be the first person to finish the fight. That hasn't happened in the UFC. I don't know how it's going to happen. I've been working my submissions.
It ain't going to happen.
I've been working my submissions. I've been working my stand-up. So anything can happen.
All right. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. What I'm going to do now is all the media get together here and for photo ops. I'm going to square these guys off. Thank you, guys. Thanks to fans for showing up today. Appreciate it.
He got the other mic. Did your other guy have the?
Yeah, thank you.
Everybody ready?
Sneak behind you.
Good fight, baby.